Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday night's training on or regarding your trading day. Tonight, we're going to be focusing on trading the YTD arrow system, basically from A to Z on how I trade every single day. Okay? So kick back and enjoy. I'm going to go through this information rather quickly. It is being recorded, as you know, because if you're watching this recording, you know it was recorded. But you people that are live here, I'm going to go through the information rather quickly. I'm not going to go through explanation after explanation because you can go back and watch this. Also, what I recommend you doing is coming into the room in real time, the live trading room in the morning. Come trade with me and come ask your questions in real time on real live charts. Therefore, very easy for me to explain situations. Okay? So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing I always do, is I always take a look at the 30-minute charts before I look at a specific instrument. So if I'm going to look at gold first, I will look at the 30-minute chart first. When I'm ready to look at oil, I will look at the 30-minute chart first. When it's time to look at the YM or the NQ, I will look at their 30-minute charts first. Okay? So let's go to the 30-minute charts and let's talk about these for a second. So why do I go to 30-minute charts? I like the 30-minute candlestick charts because it gives me an idea of what's been going on and what's going on now. Okay? It just gives me an idea of what's been going on and what's going on now. And I like to try to draw trend lines on what's going on. Now, I'm going to show you how I draw trend lines, and we're going to actually talk about quads as well. If you're not familiar with quads, you will be in a minute. But first, we need to figure out the trend. So this is the euro, the 6E. And a day ago, yesterday, January 30th, it actually fell off the side of a cliff. It fought its way all the way back up into this morning, and then this morning it took off to the upside. So this is kind of zany, kind of wild, and it also makes it rather difficult to draw a trend line when you see big moves like this. So I will attempt to draw a trend line, and what I do is I come over here to my pencil area. It's called drawing tools, actually. And I'll go down to where it says trend channel. And what you want to do is you want to left click where you want your, so in an upward trend, you start at the bottom. An upward trend start at the bottom, okay? And what you want to do is you want to left click, hold your mouse down, and make your trend line. Okay, you want it to attach to 3 different areas. Okay, and then you can let go of your mouse. And now when I move my mouse, it's going to create a second line. Whoops, I've got to click the mouse one time to set it. Sorry, click it once to set it. Now when I move it, it's going to give me an extra line here so I can create my trend. Okay. Now, the bottom part of the trend down in here, you want it touching as many places as possible. It's called anchoring down in here. Okay. So I'm trying to find an area where I can make this trend work. And this is a harder trend to draw. Okay. This is a harder trend to draw. Probably a pretty bad example of drawing trends. On the other currency pairs, when I get there, you'll see it much easier. But we do run into this. This is normal, where it's kind of hard to draw a trend. Okay, now, in this trend channel, you see an upper trend line and a bottom trend line, okay? I like to work with what are called quads. In every trend channel, there is four sections, okay? So how do I get that on here? All you need to do is left click on one of these lines, and when you do that, see these black boxes pop up on the lines? Okay, that tells me that that line is active. Now I can right click on the line. I can now go to properties, okay, and it's going to show me this box here. So I've got the two trend lines. You can see they're checked here, but I want 3 more lines. So I check 3 more boxes, okay. This first line, I want it 50.0. I want it dark green, okay? And I can have the width 2. You can make this whatever you want it to be. And I want it to be a dash line. I want a blue line at 25%, number 2 and dash. And I want another blue line at 75%, blue and dash, okay? When I make this here, okay, I can now, if I want to keep this as a template, I can go down here to where it says template, and right underneath it, I can right click it. A little box is going to pop up that says manage templates. I can click on that, okay? And then I can give this a name, or I can make it my default, which I want to do. So I want to save this as my default. Save current default, template default, yes. And then click apply, okay, and there we go. I got quads now. Now, what am I talking about quads? It's actually probably simpler if I go to a different instrument, because this trend is a little wacky. So let's go look at oil. Let's see if that's a little bit better for drawing a trend. So here's oil. It is actually not the best either. Let me try gold. Hold on a second. We'll find you something good here. So gold is okay. It's been running up pretty good. So it's in an upward trend, right? It's been going up. So I want to come up here to drawing tools. I want to grab my trend channel, and I want to start at the bottom down here. And again, I want this line to touch as many areas as possible on the way up. I click my mouse once, and then I drag my mouse over to draw the top trend line, okay? So this trend looks something like this, all right? Now, how do I use these different lines? And I've mentioned the word quads, right? How do I do that? Actually, I'm on the wrong contract date, I just noticed. I'm on 2/17, and I need to be on 4/17. My bad. Hold on a second. Let's bring up 4/17. Did it do it? Hold on. Let me reload the data. I didn't think it did it. Okay, maybe it did. Now let me draw the trend line. Bottom to top. Now I'm going to take a snapshot of this. And we're going to have a little lesson here on quads. All right? Real quick, because you'll hear me talk about quad 1, quad 2, quad 3, and quad 4. All right? You'll hear me talk about that in the room. So here's the trend. Here's the top trend line here. Here's the bottom trend line down here, right? This is going upward, right? Upward. And in an upward trend, I have 4 quads. Quad 1 is at the bottom, okay? Quad 2 is above that. Then we have quad 3. And at the top, we have quad 4, okay? Now, hold on a second. Let me change colors here. Listen to me carefully. In an upward trend, okay, we would love to buy in quad 1, right? You've always been told to buy low and sell high. So in an upward trend, we would love to buy in quad 1, all right? We can and do buy in quad 2. We also can and do buy in quad 3. Quad 4, little more of a question mark in quad 4. And the reason for that is because there's a chance that the instrument has already ran higher. It's already ran up. Okay? So once you get up into quad 4 in an upward trend, you've got to be more careful than normal. All right? Let me give you an example. Let's take another snapshot. Okay? Here we are. This right here. Whoops, that's yellow. You can't see it very well. This right here is up here in quad 4. Okay? And you see that, yeah, we ran up in here to quad 4, but then what did we do? We basically fell and consolidated, right? You just got to be a little more careful anytime you're in quad 4. All right? Let's go look at another instrument to see if we can draw another good trend line for you to check out. This is natural gas. It's been dumping off here lately. I can't wait to trade it tomorrow, actually. Let's draw a trend. So this is a downward trend, okay? In a downward trend, I start my trend at the top, my trend line. Now, this is kind of steep, all right? So it's going to look something like this. I connect the dots up here. Yeah, it's a little harder on this side here. I mean, I could make it really skinny like that. This is the trend. And in the trend, downward trend, we also have 4 quads. Let me show them to you. 4 quads, okay? Here is the top of the channel. Here is the bottom of the channel. This is a downward trend, right? Quad 1 is at the top in a downward trend. Quad 2 is next, followed by quad 3, and then at the bottom is quad 4. Now, we would love to sell this up here in quad 1, right? Sell it high, get out of the trade low. We would love to sell in quad 1. We can and do sell in quad 2, and we can and do sell in quad 3. Quad 4 is a question mark. Again, the instrument might have already fallen. Can it continue to fall? Absolutely it can. Will it? We have no idea. We need to be more careful when we are in quad 4. And you'll hear me talk about that live in the room every morning. I'll talk about what quad are we in. We're in quad 1. Let's take a look at this trade. We're in quad 4. Let's be careful. All right? Let's look at one more just for the heck of it. Let's go to, let's take a look at what the YM is doing these days. Here's the YM. We've been falling off here, so we're in a downward trend. I want to draw my trend line starting at the top because we are in a downward trend, starting at the top, touching as many areas as possible at the top, swinging my trend line over and making my trend channel. Let me ask you a question. What quad are we in right now? What quad are we in right now? Do, 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 do. Quad 1, right? Downward slope at the top. Of course, this is quad 2. This is quad 3. This is quad 4. One more thing about quads. One more thing about quads I want to point out. You see the middle line, the green dotted line right here? I call that the cash line. Why do I call it the cash line? Because 80% of the time, the instrument is going to come back. The bars or the candlesticks are going to come back to that line. 80% of the time. So I like to call it the cash line because it's kind of like a magnet. All right? So that's enough right now about quads. We talk about quads often. If you have a question about quads, bring it to me live in the trading room. Okay? All right. Enough of the 30-minute charts. Well, maybe not enough. One more comment, and it's just, I'm just repeating myself. Before I go analyze the trading charts, I like to come to these, what I call the white charts or the 30-minute charts. I like to come to these charts first to get an idea of what's going on. Just gives me an idea of what's going on. All right? Okay, cool. So let's turn the page. A little more exciting now. This is when it gets exciting. We go to the trading charts. Some of the members call these the money charts because this is where we make our money, right? So let me point out a bunch of stuff that's on these charts. So I will take another snapshot because I like doing that and I like to draw. All right, so there's a lot of things on these charts I want to make sure that you are aware of. Okay, I'll make this as big as I can here. All right, very cool. All right, where do I start? Well, let me get a yellow crayon first. So on here, you're going to see green dots cruising across the screen. And sometimes you'll see red dots going across the screen. On this one, you don't. The green dots are yesterday's high. The red dots are yesterday's low. Okay? I like to understand where those are at. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Okay? Next, we have moving averages. Okay? We have a 50 moving average, which is the purple line. And we have a 200 moving average, which is the purple dots. All right? Purple dots. And I'll be explaining how we use this in a minute. And then in the middle here, this gray area right here, I call this the cloud. You'll hear me talk about the cloud. All right? Next, we have arrows, right? A bunch of arrows, a bunch of blue arrows, a bunch of red arrows. All right? These help us get involved in trades. Okay? They don't tell us to trade for sure. We're going to explain that to you in a minute. But they help us get involved in trades, the arrows. Okay? We have dash lines. Okay? Blue dash lines and red dash lines. I'm going to explain how we use those in a minute. We have what we call power numbers. Okay? Now, the power numbers are sitting there telling us when the next bar will form. When the next bar will form. Let me explain. If I have a bar that's going down, okay, and it goes one tick under the bottom power number, that bar is going to paint, meaning that bar will be completed and will start to draw a new bar. And these power numbers will change. They'll drop down a little bit. Okay? The opposite, if the current bar goes up, a green bar, okay, goes up and goes one tick above the top power number, okay, it's going to paint a green bar, meaning that bar has completed and it will start to go on to the next bar. All right? So when we go one tick above the top power number or one tick under the bottom power number, It's going to give us a new bar. Okay? Just so you know. What else do we have on here, Johnny? Well, Steve, we've got the Momo indicator. All right, so at the bottom of all this, we have the Momo indicator. It's Momo, short for momentum, okay? And it helps us understand what kind of momentum is going on with that instrument at any particular time, okay? And the best way I'm going to show you how to use the momentum indicator and its friend, the little momentum indicator, is live in the room when we're actually either in trades or looking to take a trade. That's the best way for me to explain to you about the Momo indicator. Okay? Essentially, I'm looking around. I think that's it. That's all the stuff that we have on a chart. Okay? And it's actually, it might seem like a lot to you, but it really isn't. It really isn't. So now, let's talk about taking trades and how do we do that. And I think we have a good example here on the NQ. And we're going to have to play a little make-believe. That's okay. You guys like fantasy, right? Little make-believe here. Let me see if I can blow this way up. Wow. In your face. All right. So we're going to play make-believe for a second that the NQ is in and we look at the NQ 30-minute chart, and the NQ 30-minute chart is going up. We are in an upward channel, and we are in quad 2, let's say, quad 3, quad 1. We're in one of those quads, all right? So since it's an upward channel, we are looking to buy, okay? We are looking to buy. And you can see over here to the far left of all this, we were going upward, right? We were going upward. Then we retraced back down to the 50 moving average, and we actually started to go into the cloud here a little bit. But then we bounced. Then we bounced, and we started to head up. So when it's coming down like this, we're actually starting to look for a possible buy trade. And I'm looking for, hear me carefully, I am looking for a green candle like this one right here. That was weird. Hold on. I'm looking for a green candle like that one right there to complete itself above the red dotted line. Above the red dotted line, okay? And when that happens, right there, when that happens, we get our blue arrow, and that tells us to take the trade. So we can see that coming in advance most of the time. It happens slow enough so we can actually place a trade before it happens and get into that buy trade. Now, a couple of filters. All right, let me get rid of some of these drawings here. When I'm looking to buy, okay, when I'm looking to buy, I want the 50 moving average, which is the purple line, to be above the 200 moving average, which are the purple dots. That's a filter. I've got to be above there, okay? I've also, when the trade actually happens, okay, the bar has to close above the cloud as well. It can't be in the cloud. Now, as an added filter, you can even tell yourself that you don't want the bar touching the cloud at all. Now, I think that's a little too conservative, but you can do that, all right? As long as the top of the bar is above the cloud, you get the arrow, you're in the trade. Cool? Cool. All right. So now you're in the trade. Now what? Well, let's talk about stop losses because that's what's next. So generally speaking, we start with a 25 tick stop loss. All right. And usually what will happen as I get into the trade, I'll start to adjust the stop loss up, taking myself out of risk. All right. I want to do that actually as quickly as possible. But I've also got to give the trade room to oscillate. Okay. If I get too close, the instrument will oscillate me out of the trade and then go in my favor, and I won't be happy. Okay. As the trade moves up in my direction, what I like to do at first, let me get rid of some of this stuff. Hold on a second. So let me repeat myself. As the trade goes up in my direction, I like to move my stop loss with the trade, keeping it 2 to 4 ticks under the last completed bar. So as bars form, I can move my stop loss with these bars. Okay, putting myself more and more into profit. All right. Now, once I get 5, 6 bars in a row, so this is 3, let's say, 4, 5, 6 bars, I want to start giving the trade more room. I want to back off of my stop loss a little bit to give it more room, because eventually I'm going to get a wick like this that's going to take me out. Eventually I'll get a wick like that. When? I have no idea. All right? I do not know when. So what I want to start doing as I'm moving upward and I have 5, 6 bars in a row, green bars, I want to change my tactic on my stop loss. And instead of moving it 2 ticks behind each bar, what I want to start doing is I want to start using the power numbers. Okay. Now, if we were in an actually trade, these power numbers would be closer to the bars over here. Okay. Just so you know, all these red bars and stuff wouldn't be here. But what I would do is, and I'm going to make this a different color, like blue here. I would now, once I get up 5 or 6 bars, I will now place my stop loss, let's say 2 to 4 ticks under the bottom power number. And as the trade goes up, these power numbers will go up. And as they do, I keep on raising my stop loss with the bottom power number. It's going to be easier for me to show you this on live charts in the morning. We do it every day. Okay? So stop loss idea number 1, keep it 2 ticks under the last completed bar, move it as bars form. Once you get 5, 6, 7 completed bars, it's up to you. Start using the power number to guide you on where to place the stop loss. Now, okay, let's say we're really running. We're running more. We're up 10 bars now. Okay? What I will start to do, instead of using the power numbers, I will start to use this blue dashed line as a guide. And every time a new bar is formed, this dashed line goes up higher. So I will start using the dashed line as an idea of where to place my stop loss, and eventually I'll get stopped out. All right? Cool? Great. So that's what we do on buy trades. That's a buy arrow trade. All right? So now what I want to do is I want to find a buy continuation trade. So let's scan back here and I've got one, looks like here on oil that we could probably use for demonstration purposes. So let me take a snapshot of this. So that first trade was an upward arrow trade, a blue arrow trade. Now we're going to talk about continuation trades. Okay, continuation trades. So again, play make-believe in your brain and make believe that we are in a upward trend. Okay? We are in an upward trend, and look at this. We got a blue arrow, right? And the reason why we got that blue arrow is why? Well, because this bar closed above this red dash line, right? We are over the 50 moving average. We're good to go for a buy trade. Okay? You hear me? Now, I don't know if we would have taken a trade here because we were falling and a lot of other things, but this is just for illustration purposes, okay? So we go up here and maybe we just make 10 ticks out of this trade and that's it, okay? And then the trade goes against us and stops us out. So out of a trade like this, we would have made maybe 15 ticks total if we're trading 3 contracts, okay? That's a minor trade. However, we're in an upward trend and we have a blue arrow. We received a red bar. When I'm in an upward trend and I get one red bar, I want to look to get in on the next green bar when it closes. Okay? It's called a continuation trade. Now this one would have made maybe 15, 17 ticks as well, smaller trade, right? Then we got another red bar and another possible continuation, and this one rocked. This one did very well. So in an upward trend, when our green candles stop and we get a red candle or a red bar, it's time to start looking for another buy trade. Okay? Cool? All right. Let's go look for sell trades. All right. The NQ has been selling off a little bit of late. There's one that we could probably use. Oh, here's a good one. Yeah, there's a couple of things in here I can show you on this one. We're not concerned about time of the day because this is all about showing you guys stuff. And right now I want to show you sell trade. Okay. Actually, this is not a good example because the 50 is not under the 200. So let me keep on looking. This is intermission time on the screen right now. We could tell you to go to your concession stand and get yourself some popcorn and a Coca-Cola. Ooh, the refreshing taste of Coca-Cola. Okay, nothing going on there. Okay, yeah, I got something over here. Fish on the YM. Let me use that one. Fish on, YM. Let's use it, baby. Let's use it, baby. All right. So we went to our 30-minute chart, and the 30-minute chart suggests that maybe we should look for sell trades today. Sell trades. All right? Cool? First thing I want to do when I look at the black charts, the money charts, or trading charts, whatever you want to call these, is if I'm looking to sell, I want to make sure that my 50 moving average is under my 200 moving average. All right? I want to make sure my 50 is under my 200. All right? So let's say I'm looking at the charts and I'm seeing these green candles in here. I'm like going, okay, great. And I got a blue arrow. And remember, we're looking to sell. So I say, wonderful. All I got to do now is wait for a red arrow and I can sell this. Okay? So where do we get a red arrow? Right here. As soon as this bar completed itself under these blue dashes right here. Okay? As soon as this bar closed underneath the blue dashes, it created a monster. It created a red arrow. Time for me to sell, baby. All right? So I get into a sell trade. Whoa, that's not what I wanted to use. Get into a sell trade. And I want to rock this thing to the south. Okay? So it starts moving in my direction. Okay? What do? First thing I want to do is move my stop loss following the trade. 2 to 4 ticks. I usually use 2 ticks above the last completed bar. Okay? After I get 5 or 6 of these in a row, I want to start giving it more room with the power numbers. And then I'll start using these red dash numbers, these red dashes as the stop loss all the way down, okay, until it stops me out. And on this specific trade, it could have been really awesome, right? Very nice. That's what we do in our sell trades, okay? We wait for good setups to come our way, and then we trade them, okay? Now, inside of all this, I can't erase anymore, sorry. Inside of all this, we did have a green bar. It probably would not have knocked us out of the trade. But if it did, and we wanted to get back in, this would be a continuation trade. We have a bunch of red bars and then a green one. We would wait for the next red, let me repeat that. So we have all these red bars in a row. We get a green bar. If the next bar is red, we can sell it again, okay? And that's another way you could actually add to positions if you wanted to, all right, on these continuation trades, all right? And that's basically how we trade the arrow system, everybody. It's pretty simple and it's very cool. What I suggest you do, strongly suggest you do, is come in to the morning live trading sessions. So 1, we can trade live together. 2, I can show you in real time how I look at the 30-minute charts, how we go to the trading charts, how we look at the arrows and how we take trades and how we use our stop losses all in real time. I call the trades out before they happen. So come join me in your trading days live trading room every morning, Monday through Friday. The doors open up at 7:45 Eastern time and we get rocking at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And we trade for 3 or 4 hours every morning. All right. I appreciate you guys watching this video and hanging out with me. All right. We do these trainings every Tuesday night. Sometimes we just do Q&A. Sometimes I go through the charts like we did tonight. Sometimes we get into your brain and we talk about the psychological part of trading. It's always something a little different. It's always something a little cool. It's a good time to grab yourself a beverage and just kick back and let's talk about trading together. Appreciate your time. God bless. Have a sensational rest of your evening, your morning, your day, and I look forward to trading with you.